Morning everyone, it's Behzad here from Hey World Coder. Welcome back to another video of how to add in Google Map to your Android Studio project. User interfaces are ready. Now we are going preparing our code in main class, and we have a tag for our debugging and initializing the view bending. Now our edit boxes are ready. Go to your login page hardcore. We need to prepare our tag. Write down LOGT. You will create a tag, a main tag based on your project's name. Below your tag, we need our view bending. Write down the XML layout's name with a capital start. And you have a bending here. Right click, give a name to it. And this is a variable's name. Come down above your onCreate, write down onCreate. Copy your tag or comment below here, paste it, and write down a main here. Everything is ready. Go back one more time. A tag we created, initialize the view bending, convert the relative widgets in XML layout, and initialize Firebase tools. Come back here. We are going to initialize having a string here as email as password. What are they doing? In this area inside our main class that is not inside any method here, they call it field variables. What is a field variables does, whenever you initialize any field variables here, that means that variables inside the field area, it's capable of being used by any method inside the main class. That's a good point of it. For instance, if I initialize these email and password variables inside a method, and if I need those variables again somewhere else, I won't be able to use them because they are inside a tag, or they call them local variables. But now they are in a field area. That means wherever you're going to use them, you can use them. Now we need a private Firebase Auth. So this is a class we are going to implement to let the user to log into our app. Give a name to it with a small f. You just write down Firebase Auth. Now finish it off. Going back to our steps, we initialize here, convert them, initialize our Firebase and method to check entries and assign the links. Go back to your My Application. We have to implement our login bending view here. Come inside your onCreate, above your set content view, write down your variable's name here, equals to a parent dot inflate, get inflated layout, semicolon here. We are creating a view using a write class android.view. Give a name to these variables, and here we have to get a root to these variables. Login bending, get root. And set content view, delete this and assign it to our variable we assigned here. So that does for our work. Now we need to create a method to initialize these email and password and handle all entries from the user. Come between your main and onCreate, write down a comment, checking users details. This is explanation of this method, and the second part is going to tell us where it's going to be used. It runs inside execute login button. We do not have this method yet. We are going to create it. Just write down private void because it doesn't have any return. Validate user inputs. Name of the method again are optional. You can do however you like. You can name them. Again, based on our projects, make sure you write them down relative to what they are going to do. Copy your comment, paste it here. We created our container. We need our debugger, LOGD. And here we'll write down a little message to tell us what it's going to do. Checking users input. Coming down here. So that works for now. Leave it as it is. Coming down here, below your validate user, we need another method called execute login button. It runs inside onCreate. Private void, and just copy the name from the top one to here. That does. Copy your message right down here, and that is ready for us. Now we are going to implement our codes inside, and everything will be ready. Come inside your onCreate. We need to initialize this variable we created to the main class. Write down Firebase Auth with a small f equals to main get an instance from our main class. Down at here. Now we got two links if the user forgot their password or they are new to our app. Go to your login page. What was it? Write down your bending view name dot, and here it choose from the XML layout relative to this login page XML. What we are interested in is forgot password link, because then relatively just executing the codes. Dot set onClick listener. So that means it's going to execute as a link or as a button. New onClick listener. And here we tell if the user clicks on it, what will happen. We need an intent, start activity, use a correct class, new intent. And inside here, we have to give from where to where we're going to send the user. We are in our login page right now, comma, and we have to send it to forgot password page. Dot class is red here because we do not have this class. Quickly just go to your left hand side on your project and create it. Come to your Java on top one, right click, new, bring it down to activity and empty activity. You have to make sure you name it correctly. Forgot password page. Delete up your activity here, and that works. Now we'll create a layout for us as our forgot password page, and error gone. Now you're coming down here, we need to assign our new user link. Write down your view bending dot. Now we are interested in new user link dot set onClick listener. New onClick listener. It will be same. You copy here and paste it down here. Instead of forgot password, we are going to register our register page class. So these two links are executed and all good to go. Now we do not need the onCreate right now, apart from below your login new user link inside your onCreate, we have to use this method. Copy the name and paste it down here and semicolon. All good. So minimize your onCreate. Come inside your validate user input. Now we need to initialize these two field variables we created here. Just write down semail equals to login bending view. We have to assign these variables we created in a field area to whatever we are going to have. This is the email. We are going to assign it to this email. How are we doing it? Just write down your view bending here. Dot assign it to our user email. Dot get text. This is the entry of this edit text. Convert it to a string. Semicolon. Do exactly the same for our password. Write down, initialize it to login page view bending dot user password dot get text to string. Where these names came from, they are exactly the same as what we named our edit texts. User email, user password. Apart from this, we do not have this underscore here. We convert entry of these two here to a string. Now we need to check if they are empty or no. If they are empty, throw in an error. If they're not empty, then we do execute another code. We need an if-else condition. In the if section, we check if they are empty. Email dot is empty or password is empty. If they are empty, what are we going to do? Inside your if tag, just write down a toast, importing a correct one. Just create a new toast. Inside text, we write down fields cannot be empty. That's what the user is going to see if they leave the email or password empty. Then in an else condition, if they're not empty, that means the user entered already something. Now we have to check if that email and password does match with what we got on our database. As you know, we do not have anything on our database, but in the next video we are going to create an account and having some validation or some entry to our database. But for now, because we are in our login page, we're just going quickly creating it. For next video, everything will be ready. We need to use Firebase to check if the user does have any account on Firebase database or no. Write down Firebase with a small f dot sign in with email and password. Where is the email and password comes from? You can use these two because they are inside a method. That means we can use them. As email, comma, as password. Dot add incomplete listener, new incomplete listener, and semicolon here, finish it off. Now here we created a task. This first part, it is a task. That means it will get this email and password and it will check them with Firebase Auth section to check if they are matching. As you know, we do not have any account, but we have to handle what is going on here. That's why we have to handle the task and tell the user the result of this function we are created. We need another if-else loop condition. In an if section, we need to check if it is successful. Task is successful. What does that mean? That means the email and password that user entered are aligned with what we got on our Firebase. Here we are writing down a toast message. Welcome. And below here, start activity. New intent. We are in our login page. Dot this, comma, we're going to our welcome page. Dot class. Same, we do not have our welcome page. Quickly on your left hand side, create it. Go to project. Inside your Java Tapas folder, right click, new, go to your activity, and empty activity. We're going to create a welcome page. Delete off this activity and click finish. Minimize here, and that's worked. So if this task is successful, we're showing a toast message to the user and we transfer the user from our login page to our welcome page. If this task is not successful, what we are going to say to the user? We are going to throw a toast message error. Write down email or password doesn't match. That handles everything. Minimize your validate. We are inside our execute login button. What we are going to do, we are going to run this method whenever the user clicks on login button. How are we going to do it? We need a debugger, user press login button. This is our little message for us, and here we are going to use our view bending dot. The button we are going to use, I will use the login button dot set on-click listener, new on-click listener, and here everything is ready. Whenever the user clicks on it, we'll run this method. Write down validate user input, and all will be set. As you know, we do not have any account. Go back to our slideshow. We initialized here. We created a method to check the user entry. We assigned the link to forgot password page. Let's run our app to see what we are dealing with. Our app is ready. Everything looks as what we expected, and let's try what we are facing to. So click on login, and it should comes up with a message as a field cannot be empty. Now we are going to write down an email here. Let's say app@gmail.com, a password 123456. Click on login. Email or password doesn't match. Go back to your validate user. Here the task wasn't successful because we do not have an email or password on our Firebase Auth, and that's why we are going to else condition. The task wasn't successful, and it will throw out that message. Try it one more time. Email or password doesn't match. That's it for now. Go back to your logcat, and it didn't throw an error for some reason. I don't know why. Sorry for that. It didn't throw any error because it doesn't have any execution in our Firebase Auth. That means it is empty. There is nothing there, and that's why this task is not successful, and it will show this second toast message for us. If we are going to change whatever colors you want for the future, go to your random edit boxes for instance. So you don't have to go one by one and change the color. All you need to do from your resource shape or color you created, just simply change the color to whatever you want. Let's say as a purple or whatever. It will automatically implement these changes on all the files you have used this color from. And that it will make your job way easier instead of one by one going around all the changes to do. And as you see, it's been already implemented, and it will save lots of work and time for you. Here you don't see the changes unless you are going to run the app. Now that's it for this video. We are set everything apart from our error message here, which we didn't have it because I forgot to mention this at the beginning, because Firebase is empty. That's why it doesn't have any error here. So apart from that, all ready and to go to moving to the next video. If you do have any question, as usual, please write them down in a comment and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for your watching. See you later.